And hello again everyone, and welcome to some last Epoch. Now, before I continue, there we go. This will be the first of a series of videos that I aim to make for mostly beginning players of the game, as well as veterans, eventually. But today we will tackle a very touchy subject, and before everyone runs away, look at the video duration. I shall keep things simple. Do not be scared of the word that I'm about to utter. Loot filters. You still here? You have braved the trial? Okay. So, anyone who has played Path of Exile is probably familiar with them. You go to a website, you go to a build, yeah. We're not doing that. I'm going to teach you how to make the very simple loot filter that will probably be extremely useful to you the majority of the game, especially for a casual player. So, Ctrl-Shift-F brings up the loot filter. You have the import filter, which I'm sure a lot of Path of Exile players will use, but we will not be using that. We will be using the create filter. Also, the game properly explains that the first rule, the higher a rule is, the more priority it is given. So first rule goes first, and then the second, and then so on and so forth. I shall make a slight example of that as we go a bit further in the video, but for now, create a filter. Let us begin. I promise you it won't take a minute. We have the option, create a new filter. You can name it whatever, you can mash your keyboard as I'm about to do in a second. You can even name it bunnies or rabbits or loot or shinies, whatever. You can give it a color, and you can also give it a symbol of your choosing from the options, of course. Confirm, and by itself it doesn't do anything. So we're going to add the first rule, and honestly the only rule you need early on, which is visibility hide. Add condition, rarity, and then we will select normal and magic. Then we will have to add it to take effect. Also remember, hide on the visibility, the condition is rarity, and then common and magic. And boom, done. Now anything that's not yellow rarity or higher will be hidden from our loot. It will just never appear to us, never cloud our screen. And that's about it. Good job. All done. Now if you want to make the bit more fancy, we can add another rule. Have it recolor to highlight the items that fulfill this rule. Also, a slight note, in the video I actually add one more condition besides the one that I'm showing on screen, and that's the one I'm using as an example a bit later on. Not a big issue. We'll make it red, and we are going to add the condition with affixes, which are the properties of an item that you can change and forge. And from there, we will be getting the class-specific ones. You don't need to read them, there's a lot of them, like way too much, but those are the very interesting ones that can often change the very nature of a build. So those are the ones you usually want to gather up on, especially since they're not as common as the other ones. So just tick all of them, don't worry about it too much. If you're gonna play only one class, obviously just select that one class and you will be fine. But for the most people, maybe you'll find some interesting stuff, select those. If you drop them, they will now be colored the color that you have selected. Also, even if you were to upgrade it to ignore the rares, the ones that are highlighted will still show up. So for example, I also added experimental items to the filter in my video. I cut that part off when I selected the affixes. It shows as red because of it. But honestly, you don't need that. For a starter player, you just need hide, rarity, magic, and normal. That's all. You will be good to go, I promise you. You will go to the end game just fine with only this. The loot will not be overwhelming until you reach a very high level of end game. That much I can promise you. Okay, that's about it. Thank you everyone for watching, and see you all later.